Hi Alexis, hi Jason. Class is back in session. This is video number 3, just real quick. If you take a look at the pool, you can see it's crystal clear. This pool has been open approximately 1 month. I opened the pool just prior to the snowstorm because when I was going to put the house on the market, I wanted to demonstrate that the pool is fully functioning and everything is operational. The total amount of time that I have spent maintaining this pool, to include making these videos, which are a couple minutes long, is probably 45 minutes over the last 3 to 4 weeks. So if you stay on top of things, life is simple. Okay, today's video is going to focus on the filter system and the various components of that system. So we're going to take a walk over here. Okay, the major parts of the system are the filter itself. It's this cylindrical unit right here. This is called a DE filter system. What does the DE stand for? Diatonomous earth. It's a naturally occurring substance that is used to filter. Some filters use sand. This one uses something called DE powder. Okay. So, a couple things to note on this. If you were to open the top of this, there's basically a bunch of fingers. They look just like fingers. There's about 40 of them dangling down into this cylinder here. And with the DE powder on them, they trap microscopic particles. DE powder can trap even the smallest of particles, and that ensures that your pool is going to be crystal clear. A couple things about this filter that are really important. This pressure gauge right here. Suzanne, if you could zoom on that pressure gauge and actually look at the numbers. Can you see the numbers?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you want is you want pressure here, but not too much pressure. So right now it's reading somewhere around 10 psi, which is an excellent reading. Now why is it at 10, an excellent reading? Well, because the water is so clear, this filter has a very, very easy job. Now, if the pool were full of algae and all kinds of contaminants, the filter would be working very hard and it would drive the pressure up. It's counterintuitive, but the lower the pressure, the better. The higher the pressure, the less filtering is taking place. So right now it's at a perfect level, level 10. And over the last month, it stayed in the 10 to 12 range. Now, so consider 10 on a scale of, 10 would be considered an A+. 12 would be a B+, 15 is a B. If it gets towards 20, you're getting into the C range. But you never want the gauge to exceed 30 psi. If it's exceeding 30 psi, it means the filter is not doing its job. I'm going to do another video on how to clean the filter. But because the pool's in such clean condition, we don't have those issues. Okay, so that's the filter. Okay, what is this object here? This, from here to here, is the pool pump. This is a 3/4 horsepower, 240 volts. There's 240 volts here on a dedicated circuit controlled by a circuit breaker panel inside the shed. It is 240 volts, so do pay attention to that. You want to make sure you know what you're doing if you do any kind of work on that pump. But generally speaking, what I do in the wintertime, this pump lives outside. I don't bring this pump in. I don't disconnect this. I do take the filter in. I clean it, wash it out, and I store the filter in my basement. But I leave this outside. In the elements, it's totally sealed off, and you're not going to have any problems with it. Okay, a couple other major components. What is this pipe right here. Well, this pipe comes into this valve here. So this is a mixer valve. You have an option of drawing water from the bottom of the pool. Remember on the first video I showed you those two intakes at the bottom of the pool? This is where it's drawing water. On this side, over here, it's drawing water from the skimmer port, the surface of the pool. So the surface, so right now, as you can see, this valve is pointed towards the skimmer port. So right now, it's drawing exclusively from surface. And I'll be honest with you, I generally leave it in this position because it helps clear surface leaves off the top of the pool, because it'll draw them into the skimmer, trap them in the little filter box over by the skimmer, and I can just pull the leaves out. So generally speaking, this valve goes to here, but I could draw from both by going like that, or I could draw just from the bottom by going like that. But I'm going to put it back to drawing from the skimmer. So water is coming in here from the pool. It's getting sucked in by the pump. It is then entering the filter. It is passing through the fingers in the filter, filtered by that DE powder that I talked about. It exits here. This is a valve. If the valve is parallel to the line, it means it's flowing. If I were to turn this, it would shut it off. It then comes through here and then shoots back to here. This is the return line. This goes back to the pool at those two return jets that I pointed out in previous videos, and that's where the clean water comes back in. This is called a chlorinator. I'm not actually using this right now. Water is just coming through here. There are no chlorinating tablets in here. I'll explain why in a minute, but it's just passing through here. Occasionally you will use this, and I'll get to that in a minute. But that pretty much wraps up this video on the basic components. One other thing is to show you where the on-off switch is for the pump itself, and that's in the shed. And as you can see, this little switch here turns it off. You can put it on a timer. I don't use the timer. You can. Generally speaking, you want the pump to run about 12 hours a day. There's no need to run it 24 hours a day. It just wastes electricity. 12 hours a day will keep your pool sparkling clean. That concludes today's video.